After the Shift, episode 4, I think. Or are we on 5, boys? Fuck, I'm going to have to start this again.
I think it's 5, actually.
After the Shift, episode 5. Very special guest this time. Been looking forward to this one. Simon Moloney, Liam and I's cousin. He's a tiler and lives on the Central Coast. Lots of stories. But welcome, Simon, or Simo.
Yeah. How you going, boys? Good to be here.
Welcome, brother.
And I've got this phone ringing here. I'm just turning off. Liam, welcome back. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. Another successful week, I guess. Being in the trades in Sydney, living someone else's dream, living my own dream, still trying to work that out. But
living a dream, mate. Living a dream.
Yeah, a dream. Haven't worked out whose it is yet. What about you guys? How's Bali going?
Yeah, it's been good. It's a funny old day over here at the moment. Silent day. Neppy, they call it. You're not actually allowed to go outside. It's the one strict day over here. So, yeah, we're respecting that inside. Yeah. You good, Sammy? Not too lonely over there, mate?
Nah, it's not too bad. A little bit hungry. Didn't really prepare. Got me some oats and banana. And, yeah, didn't really didn't really think about it too much.
Yeah.
24-hour fast.
I had a real moment this morning, actually, which was like, yeah, without Gojek or Uber Eats, essentially, I can't live. So, yeah, it's a real struggle. But anyway, we'll get on to you, Simo. Yeah, Gojek is the equivalent.
Yeah,
it's pretty much the same thing. Yeah. So, yeah, we use that a lot. It's actually even slightly better because it's, well, cheaper delivery. So, a bit more, yeah. But Simo, mate, tell us, you became a tiler. How did that happen? And was tiling always the dream?
Nah, definitely wasn't the dream. That's for sure. Oh, mate, what did I do? I started off in carpentry. Mrs. is filming me as we speak. Go away. Started off in carpentry. Did my first year and a half. Got the sack from there. So, not showing up, but and then just laboured, mate. I did heaps of stuff. Bit of roofing, concreting, landscaping. And then one of my mates, he's a tiler, and then he ended up, putting us on as an apprentice. And obviously, same thing. I was still pretty young. Got sacked there. And then started off with another guy, and he got us through my apprenticeship. It was good.
Good on you. I feel
at a young age, mate, still partying, at that age.
Yeah. I feel like when we interviewed Liam on the second podcast, it was a very similar story. Sacked and sort of had to work for himself eventually. But like you say, that age too, it's a different age for all of us,
Was that age?
Different responsibilities.
Yeah, priorities were just surfing and other things, not working. So it was good. Got on with a good boss. So, he got us through the time and then went out on my own, started off the moment I finished my apprenticeship, which is good.
How much does that matter, Simo? Because, I'd take you to be a real good boss. I've even done a few days labour for you. I don't know if you remember that. That was a bit of fun.
A few years ago now.
Yeah. How much does a good boss matter? To get you through that apprenticeship and everything else?
Oh, it does. It was hard too, that's what I needed. Just, couldn't really have a sick day and you go to work, So it was just good getting that sort of structure, if you got on the piss at night, midweek, that you come to work no matter how you feel. So then, you do that sort of long enough and then after a couple of years, you start going, well, I'd rather wake up fresh because the boss is going to flog me anyway all day. But he just taught me heaps of good things, mate, He was a good tiler, so just taught us how to do things right. Even as an apprentice, he never hid money or how much money he was making on the job. So he'd take me quoting with him and stuff like that as well. So I learned it all through him with it, with good help and guidance. And still talk to him all the time. He owns a tile shop now. So, if I need work, get work through him. Mate, you're still always learning. Jobs that I'm doing that are bigger or something I haven't seen, you can always call him for advice. He knows what's going on. It was good getting on with him. It's good to still have that relationship later on, years later.
Yeah, wicked. Well, it does make a big difference. We got a young fella on at the moment in our business, actually, and I've wondered about that. I've pretty much shown him the numbers, everything we make and everything else, and I figured there was no reason hiding it. And I was motivating him with what he could earn as well. So,
I think that's a big thing there too. doing that.
Yeah.
Showing them figures going, mate, I know you got to go through the, the harder years now, on a shitter wage, but like this is what you'll get. And like good advice is you can earn as much as you want to work. Being lucky with a tradie, you want to earn a bit more cash, just do another job that week, try and squeeze another job in instead of just being like on an hourly rate. Yeah, earn as much as you want to work, really, which is good.
Yeah, and you were saying at the start you just brought someone else on and you're flat stick at the moment. Yeah, tell us a bit about that and
yeah, so
business.
he's just finished his apprenticeship, obviously with another company. The apprentice I've got on now, it's one of his mates. So he's a young fella. He's only 21. But yeah, mate, just put him on as a subby and just said, look, listen, if you're willing to still learn, we'll teach you along the way. He's keen to learn. And after 2 months, I'll put him on wages if everything goes well, which I think it will. He's a good kid. As I said, good kid, and he's willing to learn. So that's probably the big key factors in putting someone else on.
It's a good point. Liam, you can probably chime in on this one, but when you guys are looking for new guys like that, what are the factors, what's made a difference? You both hired a lot of people now in the trades, both of your different trades as well. Where have you gone where you're like, this will be all right, and it's been an absolute fuck up? And where have you been like, okay, actually that's a key quality that you want?
I think you sort of, there's a portion of it just giving the guys a crack, Simon? Like you meet the guy, if they seem like a good attitude, you can look at a resume, but at the end of the day in the trades, it's all about a good attitude, showing up on time, punctuality, and I guess just being a good bloke as well.
That's what I think is the big thing. Like if it's just showing up on time and just if he's doesn't have the hand skills, yes, especially if they're younger, but they're willing to learn, like you can work with that, if they're keen. You can, I think keen and just being a good bloke is like probably two of the biggest things, and show up every day, But like you can work with that.
Yeah.
If they want to learn, you just teach them along the way, and then you just teach them the way you sort of want the quality on site too,
When someone's keen, like you can really, like someone who's keen and got a good attitude, they can be good at anything, right? Like the young guy you've got on with you now, Kirk, I know he's pretty young, but he's keen, he's got a good attitude, willing to learn, but if someone's there to just show up and get paid and, not really there for a reason, then, even myself, to be honest, like I don't have a trade certificate, I just learnt by sort of throwing myself in the deep end and having a go sort of thing. And like that's in fencing, but yeah. Did you say he was an apprentice, Simon, that you've got on now?
No, I've got an apprentice, got a full-time subby, and then the young fella, I just said I'd sort of give him like an 8-week trial, like as a subby.
Yeah.
And then after that, I think everything will be good. And it's the same thing if he wasn't happy there even. Yeah, I'll put him on wages after that.
You must be busy, mate, taking on the big jobs.
Yeah, we're busy flat out now. We had a bit of a slow start to the year. I don't usually get too many slow starts. Usually we've sort of had a big job going from like the year before that sort of ties us over through January, Feb. But this year, nothing. Bit of a slow start to the year, but mate, we're back hammered now, mate. Sort of 12, 14 weeks booked ahead. That's where I like to sort of sit, And I was saying to Kirk, through my old boss, we just got the retire. I don't know if I should be saying it on here, but we've got some retirement homes, like 3 different complexes in 3 different suburbs. So just like it's not the prettiest work, but it's pays all right, and it'll just keep us ticking over with other work, So yeah, it's not a bad little gig.
Well done, mate.
How do you go? I always wonder this with a lot of tradies I talk to, like, how do you go booking yourself out ahead? Like when you say you're booked out 12 weeks ahead, I've sort of always found like every job I get, they're like, yeah, can you come next week sort of thing. Like I've never been able to book myself out ahead of time. You just got to sort of figure out and stretch it and how you can do them all at once. Like, I guess it's probably a pretty simple question, but yeah. Like how do you book it out ahead?
You could be a bit different in what you do, So I pretty much just work for builders. I'd say 90... Yeah. Probably 95% of my work's builders. So depending on the job, they just ring us months in advance, and go, put it on your radar. This is coming up, or generally they sort of give us, 8-10 weeks notice because they know how busy we are. Same with like majority of all tilers, mate. It's probably similar fences. Like tilers are always pretty busy. you know, so you've got to book us in advance. Like if a private job rang us and go, oh, we need you next week or in a fortnight, it's like, fuck, just call it, you know. I can recommend other people, but they're all going to be the same, you know. Yeah, because
You reckon most tilers are like that, Simo?
I think it's probably like any trade, mate. If you're good at what you do and got a, you know, pretty good name, you're going to be booked out, you know. Like I can't, even if I was out on my own, I couldn't. Like I'd be stressed if I was only getting work. I was only booked 2 weeks in advance. Like you know, come like a week out, you'd be start going, oh, you know, gee, I need to get some more work. What am I going to do? You know, so it's just lucky that I've got good builders that I've had. You know, so I think one of them I have had for about 9 years. You know, other ones, you know, some maybe, you know, 3, 5, 6 years. You know, so the lucky thing with me is I don't advertise because I've got constant work with builders. So they're sort of doing the hard work, the groundwork, getting the jobs, and then they ring me. So it's sort of a bit fortunate in that sense, you know. With private work, I've got other mates who only do pretty much 80, 90% of their work's private work, but they do a bit more advertising and stuff like that, you know. They've got business cards, their cars are wrapped, blah, 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 you know, where I've got none of that shit.
They're the other trades though, Simo. Like they're not tilers, are they? Do you know any tilers just doing 100% private? Oh, they're tilers
they're
too.
tilers.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, doing 80, 90%, you know, because without, you know, being rude, you know, you can put your price up a little bit more for the private work, you know, because a builder puts his 20% margin on your work on each trade, you know, so they can, you know, chuck another 10 or 20% on their prices, you know. But I just think private work, mate, builders deal with the stress. Generally, the builders deal with the clients in the, you know, tile layouts, or it just makes my life easier, mate. I go in there, talk to the builder or the architect, the interior designer. We've got plans already drawn out. Some, like half the jobs, they've got the tile set outs, you know, so just everything's just sort of less hassle. You know, I just got to stick to what they want. Where private work, sometimes they tell you the job's ready, you rock up on site and it's not ready, you know, just sort of get delays and that. It can be more, to me, it's more of a headache working for private jobs than builders, especially good builders.
I bet you're right.
You know,
and there's, I guess there might be some extra margins in private work. You just have to figure out whether it's worth it or not. But it's funny what you said before. Not funny, but yeah, you know, like a lot of the people that we speak to for our business, they're guys who have a week or two left of work and they're going, shit, like they're not sleeping as well because of it. And that's the phone call we get, you know. And it's interesting. Sometimes we have calls too, like, you know, these guys will get on, then they'll land a job a few days later and go, oh, don't worry about it. And then come back 2 weeks after that and go, actually, we'll go again. But
well, that's the thing. Exactly what you said. Like them blokes would just be stressing, like every 2 weeks, they'll just be stressing, going, oh, that, you know, I hope I get another job coming, you know, where especially I know there's 4 of us now, but like, you know, you got to be turning over, you know, it's not massive money. There's people bigger, like other people, you know, but you've got to be turning over good money, you know. Like really at the 100%. Moment now, I've got to sort of hit 10K sort of minimum a week now, you know. It's just that extra little bit of stress. So if I only got 2 weeks in front, I start going, that's 10K a week, you know. I've got 2 kids, a partner, I've got a mortgage. I don't know how people can work like that, you know. That's just unwanted stress.
Yeah.
That you don't need. I suppose that's where you boys come in with your advertising. To help businesses like that, you know?
Because like it's kind of, you know, some people don't have the choice. If they don't have the connections like you with the builders and all that sort of stuff, you know, you don't have it, because it's like hard to build those relationships, you know. I'm guessing, like you said, you've built them for years. Like these guys aren't going to all of a sudden just go to another tiler that they don't trust if he's coming into the market, into the industry compared to you. So I'm guessing
that's the hard thing.
Probably also that sort of stuff. Yeah, that it's all like we talked about with you, Liam. You know, the start is always the, you know, with any small business is the hairy part. Hey,
once you got a bit of structure there, it becomes a bit easier. Like now you got 4 guys, Simo, and you do lock out that work for 6 months or so. Yeah, if you can do that 10K a week, and like you said earlier, you know your baseline sort of number, and then anything beyond that, that's an extra, right? So you know what you need to do to cover everything.
Well, that's it, and that just goes, as you know, the extra money. Like that's just throwing out sort of sort of a minimum figure, but like, you know, the weeks that are bigger, that just goes in the business account, you know, that where you don't want a slower week, but at least that would cover 2 slow weeks, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, mate, that's just a sort of a base rate figure. You want to hit that. And then obviously ideally I'd like to double that a week, but that's not going to happen every week. But if you can hit 15 a week, mate, that's putting, you know, 4 or 5K a week in the business every week. It's fucking doing pretty well, you know?
100%, yeah.
Do you try? You've been managing. Oh, you go, Liam. Go. Yeah.
No, I was just going to say, like, when you get new guys on, does that mean more tools, more vehicles, or anything like that, or not necessarily? Because I guess, yeah.
I know the vehicles. I don't know that kind of cash flow, brother. But I bought like my subby. He's with us full time. I just like sort of got him a full setup. You know, that cost a few grand there. And the subby that started, the new young fella, he's got his own tools, but like I'll, you know, set him up with the rest sort of thing, you know, pay for all the wear and tear and grinders that blow up or whatever, you know. So they'll all have all their tools, you know, regardless. Just a good it's just a good outlay that obviously just pays in return, you know.
Is there an allowance in the target number each week for the Brickies laptops as well on a Friday arvo, or?
I've been pretty good this year. Actually been real good this year. Just trying to knuckle down, just like saving and stuff, and putting the other guy on too. I get a bit worried. I just want to make sure I do everything right, because I did stuff wrong in the early years. You know, working for myself, paying taxes, whatever I earned in a week, I spent. So you know, I just want to do everything right this time.
The family or what, mate?
Yes. So
it's easy to do though, right? Like. No one teaches you that. No one teaches you what you should be doing. I don't think. Like I said it on the first podcast, I didn't even know what an invoice was. You know, first time around. You only learn by failure or default. You know.
Well, that's it. Some people learn the easy way, and I definitely like to learn the hard way through those younger years. You know, probably same as you, Liam. You got when you work for yourself, might have earned 10K for the week, and fuck yeah, buy a surfboard, buy clothes, and then go spend $2,000-$3,000 on a night. You know what I mean? And then you just do that for years, don't pay the taxes, and then it gets to a point where you need to pay the taxes.
I was probably lucky. I had the old boy. My old boy, he used to have a spreadsheet. We used to do the accounts through like I used to print out bank statements, you know, so if we ever get him on, we probably can't let him know every detail on every transaction, or he comes across things. I'd have to black him out before I gave him the statement.
Yeah. Well, see, my
$400 withdrawal on a Friday night.
In line and made sure the taxes were always paid. That stuff was always paid, luckily. So,
yeah, see, I wish
Dad was good because I think he'd done it himself. Yeah.
Having that.
Even now.
Yeah, you go.
I'm slightly better now, but it's every time you see some money in the account, I swear you're getting an email from the accountant. It's either the BAS or some other sort of thing coming out, and it squares you up, It's
just shit thing like Australia, mate. Percentage in taxes we pay, you know. Like my BASs and tax, obviously, probably a quarter of Liam's, you know, but like, they just hem you. You know, like what is it? 30
keeps a ceiling on everyone,
It does, yeah.
Really keeps a ceiling on everyone's growth, I feel, you know. You just who knows where it goes as well. But
what before Simo, when like obviously you were saying you had that good boss and he took you out quoting, which I think's, you know, that's pretty respectable and taught you all that stuff. What made you go out on your own? Like, what was the kicker?
Do one of those things, mate, probably the same as you. Like I always had that. You know, that sort of in me, you know, that sort of drive to make money and to, you know, sort of confident enough to know that I could do it myself anyway, you know. And he went and opened up a tile shop. So that's where I got a bit lucky too, that he opened up a tile shop just before I finished my 4th year, and then he closed his business. And my last year as a 4th year, I used to work jobs for his builders. So probably out of that last year, I would have worked at least 6 months straight. See Sundays, go there after work and with my boss. And then that's how I sort of kept his builders when I went out on my own. So that was sort of a blessing that like I worked hard that last 4th year, even though I was shit like the Saturday, Sundays and that. and 7, 8 o'clock at night, but I kept those contacts. So when I went out on my own, I was just straight into it. So yeah, I always had that desire. It was, wasn't too hard to do it really, And then if there's something I didn't really,
you got to take your opportunities, don't you?
That's it. And if I didn't, it would have been a harder start. As you guys said before, you guys, people are ringing you to promote their business because they're looking for work. That potentially could have been me, or I would have gone and worked for project home mobs and that. They're shit work, shit pay. But I just got lucky. They were good high end builders that I got from the get go. So just as you said, mate, a bit of hard work in that last year. Got my foot in the door, and then from that moment, they passed my number on to other builders, and then just keeps going, really.
100%. Unreal. How's the building game at the moment? We do get a few builders contact us, less tilers, but I guess that's a lot of what you're talking about. Is it still going strong for your builders that you're doing work for?
Yeah, so they haven't. No one's sort of complaining. I think definitely three of my builders sort of do their own developments as well. So they've obviously got that cash flow that they buy and do sort of 2, 3 a year. Probably more 2 because they're sort of pretty big ones. But the other guys, mate, they seem to always be getting the work. I haven't heard them really complaining that it's slow. But just depends. I'm sort of just not doing the 1 bathrooms either. So they're the guys that may find work might go through waves a bit more, because they're trying to do a bathroom every couple of weeks or something, bathroom renovations where the builders I got to, sort of doing big renovations, or they're starting from the ground up, and one of them I think took them nearly 2 years to get out of the ground because of how bad the slope was on the hill, So there's just jobs that I think they're pretty good, but it sort of goes in patches, mate, It said I was slow this start of the year, but yeah, not too sure with them. But yeah, generally, mate, they've always got work. They're always looking pretty good,
That's good. Mate, and shit, I got a lot of respect for you recently too, always, because you bought that house and obviously there was some work there to do. You've obviously been managing a business, 2 kids, wife, and renovating your own house too. I know that's been hard, but yeah, tell us how hard it's been. And how far along is it?
Mate, we've still got a bit to go. It's probably more we borrowed as much as we could. The house, we got it's a big house, 2-story, 4 bedroom, 3 bathroom, sort of 3 living rooms, a decent block and that. But it's just when we bought it, it was sort of like a hoarder's house, It was just, it was fucked, and we couldn't move in the way it was. So then
had a lot of work that needed to be done, eh? Good spot, a lot of work.
That's it, So it's just more, we had to do what we did, and we put more money in it. We could have done it less money, but it wouldn't have looked as good, We sort of, I'm not saying it's high end, we've just got nicer things in it, nicer finishes. Could have done it cheaper, but mate, it was just hard with a 1-year-old. Me working, Mel was working, and then she got pregnant with the second one, and we're still renovating. Money was tight, and then it was just bled us. And to be honest, we finished the stage that we're at probably a year ago, maybe a bit longer, maybe a year and a half. But to be honest, I'm probably still feeling the pinch on coming back from it. Because that's sort of how much money we put in, and then I was draining the business account, so then you're stressing out about not having enough money in there because then you're putting 10, 20K pay into the house, So it was a hard time. We got through it. We still got to do all upstairs, some cladding outside. We've still got to put a few hundred in it, but where we're at now, mate, it's more than livable. 3 bedrooms done, bathroom, kitchen, living. You've seen it, Liam did the fence, the front yard. So we're sorted for the aim's 2 years, save this year, save next year, and then, maybe borrow the rest. Potentially, it'd be nice if we could pay for it all cash, but 2-year goal, mate, or maybe 2.5, finish it. Not going to bleed itself.
Yeah, we were there at Christmas. Nah, the downstairs looked absolutely beautiful as well.
Yeah.
It's interesting, the money management, because some people are good at it, and I'll just talk myself personally, but when I had a job, I was great with money. You're getting paid a salary every week. I was putting things in here.
Yeah.
And then running a business, I was the worst person with money, full stop, just let it go, debt, everything else. And it's not a maths problem, mate. I did all right at school. It's just a shit with money. And my experience with it too was when things are bad, I just don't look at the bank account.
That's
and it's like
probably
not a good thing to do.
Just bury your head in the sand and go, it'll work out. It'll work out. That's something, mate, I'm getting better and better. I always just spent money, or like all through my life, My brother, he always saved, still spent money, but saved.
Yeah, he's great with it, isn't he? Yeah, you're right.
He's like dad,
Tom.
Yeah. But no, I'm getting better, and it helped having, being with my partner. That helped me more now, watching all that.
Yes, that's me, guys.
Got on, Mel.
Good to see you, Mel.
Doing that bank account
check. Good to see you.
We all need a
podcast
sometime. Me and Kirk still, maybe 3 out of 4 of us are up to that. How much money do you reckon you took home, Simon, after tiling my house that time?
No, it wasn't a hell of a lot.
Talking about that week.
I think, really? Liam wasn't as bad. Like, he used to go to the gym, or he'd be doing paperwork. I'd finish go, we're going to the pub, aren't we? I think I took him
it was 5 days tiling, and we were sitting at the pub Thursday, and we were like, I think we were putting the last, whatever, X amount through the Bricky's laptops that we spoke about before. And Simon was like, if we don't fucking win on this thing and I take home no money, I'm in serious trouble. And I think we got a little last minute win. I think you took home maybe what the travel and the tiles cost. I felt bad.
Yeah, I think.
Well, that's the risk. That's the type of risk takers we are, You can make more, spend more. That's my motto. So spend more, make more.
Yeah, it was a big week down there, work-wise, and then the drinking.
One thing you can't knock about this bloke. He's a good tradesman.
Yeah, good Tyler.
Sure. He's a good tradesman.
They're still down?
No, it sounds like it.
They're still good. They're still good.
Yeah, lovely.
And then, the house purchase was nice and close to the Mingers gaming room, that's for sure.
Yeah, I always
down the road.
You don't really, the only surely it's probably the same as everyone. Mingers is you don't really go there for anything else. So there's not really a vibe there.
You don't.
The pokies. There's nothing else there.
It's true.
You're better off going to the pub or the Goldfield or something, more of an atmosphere. But yeah, if you're looking for a dungeon, you just definitely go to Mingers.
With the house though, Simon, and the stress on the renos too. I remember you reminded me when I renoed the last place. I remember you're working all day, you're renoing all night, or you're organising trades, and I remember thinking that was the worst 9 months of my life. Genuinely, it was. It was just no enjoyment. Stressed as it's just not. Yeah, it's stressful. That was me without a partner and kids. But when it's all said and done, and then you see the difference in value, that's, I guess, what makes you want to go again,
Well, that's it. And, with your first house too, feel like it's probably more of a struggle with the first house. You probably money's as tight as you can, your budget, So if we had money to do the house up from the get-go, the stress would have been nowhere near as much, As you said, what you said with the stress, with Mel trying to juggle a partner, a youngest daughter at the time, and then you work all day, then you go work at the house every afternoon, then you work in there Saturdays. You said try to run the business, and just the big thing as well, as I said, just to top it off, mate, it's just your cash flow. If you had cash, I reckon you're stressing 50% less, and that was the big thing with us. We didn't enjoy really most of the time renovating the house. And to be honest, we enjoyed when we first bought the house. It was exciting. But then once the renovation started, that's when it wasn't as exciting. And then once we had ours, we didn't move in. Well, once we bought it, we didn't move into the house till a year later. It was we moved in 1 month before we had our second child, and then that's when we sort of started to get that enjoyment, sitting in there with two kids and looking back, the stress was fucked. Like, look at us now, like our family's here, but
family home, I guess.
that's it, and once
because you have it for a long time.
I have it for a long time now, which would be good. I haven't watched the kids grow up here, and maybe in a couple of years once we finish the house, have one more kid, maybe. Oh, one more.
Unreal.
But
pretty cool too with that house there as well. You've had a big impact building a lot of that house. I had a mate's dad who built his own place. I always thought that was very cool. You know every patch of the house, sort of thing. So I know with you doing a lot of work on it, you've done a lot of the work yourself.
No, look, mate, I did a fair bit. I got paid people to do a lot of stuff too. I did a lot of demolition, island, all that stuff. But I can't take the credit away from the boys that did all the sheeting, setting, put the kitchen in, did all the structural stuff for the builders and that. But I did a fair bit. But then it gets to the point sometimes where if you pay someone, they're going to do it quicker, and I can go and earn money, or I could do it, take me double as long to do it, and it's not going to be anywhere near as good as they do it.
Yeah.
So,
and do a job for them. I think what I've always seen with you guys in the trades, the massive advantage you have renovating your own places is you do it for the right cost because all the trades coming in, and then you're making money off the renovations. Like both of you guys have done that and done it well. Hats off to you. But that's a big advantage about being in the trades. Yeah.
That's big. We would have at least paid, it would be close. We would have paid maybe close to $100,000 more, on the house, without people's help. Then swaps, people come work at my house and then I went and worked at their house, stuff like that. So that helped us there too, swapping hours or swapping time,
Yeah. Well, even you and Liam have helped each other out in the fence at your place.
Feel like
it wasn't the smoothest fence that's ever gone up.
It's just that fence, I'll tell you what, I still tell people that I'll be talking about that for the rest of my life. Oh, mate, I'll fucking never put another fence in again.
It's fucked because, I'm out here doing these massive high security jobs and that, and I was like, I've never done one of these, Simon. And then the bloke gave you a pretty reasonable quote. And I said, just go with him. I'll pay half or something. And me and Simon end up out there, look, overall,
we still got
a
it
good
done.
job, but
it's just more, as it's just a fence you haven't done before,
Yeah, and you think it'd go. Too. I guess it's not like a tile where they're all. Well, do you lay all tiles the same? You probably do, do
pretty
you?
Much it's the same sort of
pretty much
different set outs and that. They're all sort of pretty similar. Probably more, as you said, with that style of the PVC fencing that they're doing these days. We didn't know you can't do it on a rake and just stuff, those sort of things. Then Liam, they come up unreal, which is one of those things. When me and Liam were on the phone, he's like, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm like, no, you'll be right, mate. We'll do it in 2 days. And I think it's a
convinced me that I'd be right as well. We probably could have had a third bloke. I think we're a bit overwhelmed. The digging was hard out there. We probably could have had a third bloke. But anyway, you live in
the digging was no good.
Work hard, play hard. I think me and Tom, your brother, went to the bloody, we were on the brickies laptops that night. I pretty much lost all my revenue as well.
Yeah. He's right. The thing goes off. I think I was off the piss then in 8 weeks. And he used to go and when the thing just come back 2 hours later.
ATM transactions within 4 hours that night. So
walk straight in the door and said, I'm going to bed.
There's got to be something said for like when you have a 5-dayer on the tools, and there's just something about a beer just calling your name. I genuinely, it's almost there's just something there.
I'll talk to that because I've only done a little bit on the tools for mostly you, Liam, but there is something about Labor Day, the beer tastes better. It's just a fact.
Yeah, well, it's even like and people who aren't tradies who, let's say, out there do their lawns. It takes them a few hours. They work out that sweat. This is the physical labour. Like that's why
true
tradies. Liam and them boys are out in the sun all day. 8-10 hour days. Like working hard, you sort of justify and say, I've earned that drink on the way home.
It is like, I remember, a lot of guys, white collar guys I speak to, they talk, doing the lawn on the weekend, having a beer afterwards, so you're right to that point as well.
And Thursday right now.
What do you reckon? What do you reckon's your biggest stuff up ever, Simon? Work wise, safety, quality, over ordering tiles, smashing a bunch of half a pallet falling off the truck. Anything? Any good ones for us?
Probably the worst, like and that was more in my younger years, and it wasn't really my fault, but I didn't have the experience to back like an argument, and that was about 6.5, 7.5 grand. But it worked out like the waterproofer didn't do his job properly, so that like just a teared, and then it leaked down through a ceiling on an external deck, and then the guys who put handrails in the balustrades, then they popped tiles. I just at that age had the inexperience for like an argument, and then when they ripped it up, I should have been there when they ripped up the deck, to see what had happened. And then it worked out, I worked out after it that this wasn't my fault, but I just didn't have that, that knowledge at the time. But besides that, mate, pretty lucky in life. Fuck, mate, I don't know, you might lose 1,000 here or there or something, but you try to minimise it, as you know. It still happens if you chip tile, or crack tile, you replace a tile. That's probably, you try to keep that sort of your worst thing, which isn't it's a pain in the ass, but it's not a fucking too costly mistake.
Yeah.
But sort of been fortunate, mate. As I said, besides that one when I was younger, I've been pretty lucky. Touch wood, I'll probably fucking get a bad one now because I'm saying I haven't had one.
Touch wood.
Been pretty lucky, mate. As I said, over the years, you might have had like $1,000, maybe max $2,000 one. That's just more of my time and the boys' time. Pretty fortunate, nothing major, besides that earlier one in the earlier years. So,
it's a good point with going back and fixing it, though. You can save a lot of money about going back and fixing something. Obviously not in the trades, but we've had things where going back and fixing it.
Yeah. It only costs you more, It just depends, mate. As I said, like, I haven't had a bad one. Like, bad ones could be, you've ripping down walls and stuff. Like I've heard of tilers, they get told to put these tiles on a certain wall, or lay them in a certain direction. And then obviously then the client doesn't want that. It comes out of miscommunication there or whatever. But then, you get their sort of bigger fuck ups, or like more damaged waterproofing, that's probably a big one too. If you damage waterproofing, that leaks might take a year, or 2 years for it's found, and then, or better case, we might get it sooner. But if that's on 2 stories, that leaks down under your ceilings, or it's leaking out through your walls, So they're sort of more your major ones. But as I said, mate, sort of pretty lucky none of that sort of happened, But you do hear them stories happening.
I guess you probably as well, like, don't have because you're not dealing directly with the client, like you said, more with the builders, that it's like, obviously they have a bit more control over like the big issues, like you would say, like there needs to be communicated what they want already, and then they pass it on to you.
Especially with not as half decent, but decent builders, they, especially ones who have been in the game. Half of my builders are sort of my age, maybe a touch younger, but the other half are older, 50s, a bit older than 50. So they've been in the game for 30 years or plus years, and they just know standards. They know how to do a job right. They just know everything about every trade, So if it all starts from the foundations up, mate, So if they're on the ball with everything, you're minimising that chance of a mistake. The mistakes still happen. That's just what happens, human nature. They're just fortunate they're on the ball. When you do private work, you might just get someone who doesn't really know what he's doing. Like he's an office guy, but he's ripping out his bathroom. He's sheeted his walls, stuff like that. And then just not done to as good as quality, So there's So that's why it helps me with that, because they're on the ball. As I said, a lot of bathrooms or the deck for the houses are all designed as well. So I know what tiles are going everywhere. The builder already knows where they're going as well. So we can sort all that before we start. Same with set outs, run set outs over with builders, so that's where it sort of gets good, like lucky with not making them mistakes,
And you get to know the builders you work with, obviously, Simo. You said you've had some guys for years and years and years, so you know how they work.
Yeah, and they know our work, mate. Like, majority of the time, they're just happy enough. I've been there long enough. We just do the set outs, unless they've got the plans from the architects or something. But they're happy enough with us doing it, But everything, like, it's pretty same as Liam, if I'm going to skimp on like glue, or like I'm going to skimp on the preparations of the job, then that's just leaving yourself open for mistakes or like problems later on. So like I try and buy, more expensive glue, or like if areas need better preparation, you do that so you don't get callbacks. And I'd say that's probably the same as a lot of trades. I'm pretty fair price. I'm not on the expensive side, but middle to expensive, but that's what you're paying for. Or you go to the cheaper quote where people cut them corners, and it's probably the same with Liam. He's probably using better material or blah blah blah, with him. So it just covers you in the long run. Sort of try to do it to last instead of going, oh fuck, she'll be right.
Have you ever been cut out because of price? Lost a builder because of price, Simon, and then they've come back to you even, or just lost a builder because of price?
Not really my regular ones, mate. Like, there's more, and Liam's doing them with his jobs. There's another couple of mobs that you got to put tender prices in. That's for big residential and commercial, and they're
big stuff. Yeah,
they're more. But I've worked with some of them for a long time, but they're just more cutthroat, mate. Like I still might go in with a bit of a cheaper price because of the meters in it, but it's just hard to compete with other ethnic companies out there, that sort of underprice everything. So it's sort of, that's the ones where I'll lose out more. But my regular builders, mate, they know my prices. Realistically, I don't quote for any of them guys. They just know my prices. If there's something in it, they'll ring us up, ask us for a price. But yeah, usually, mate, it's all, they're priced in their job. And a lot of their jobs, a lot of them are cost plus, so they sort of give them a ballpark figure. But then other jobs, they're, fixed prices. But yeah, just fortunate enough, mate, that, I don't really have to quote them sort of work. They just know the prices, mate. So the job's there,
Is one of your builders still my mum's neighbour, Mitch?
Nah. I started doing work for him
a while ago.
Long time ago, yeah, because my old boss used to do work for him, and then through my apprenticeship, I ended up staying on with him, doing like a couple of years with him, and then most of it just got too busy, mate, and just jumped on with someone else,
No, fair enough. Yeah, I wasn't sure because, I haven't seen him too much over the years. I just know he drove the same car as Liam for a while.
Yeah, no, I still got him on Instagram and Facebook. He's doing good jobs too, But yeah, we just sort of, after a couple of years, I was getting to the point I was just too busy, mate. Like, I was one man and then getting subbies in, and same as the other guys, would sub into them too. But it's just I had too much going on for one, two guys, So I just, under years you learn sort of, not saying promises, but you like, oh yeah, I'll take the job on, I can do it. But then realistically, you fucking got so much work, you're just letting people down, So sort of learnt that in the early years, just to, just be more straight up. Go, look, mate, this is what I can get there. Just is what it is, Instead of just trying to fit them in, and then fucking, you got 4 jobs going, and I'm going to one job every day instead of just finishing a job, and then going to the next. Like, sometimes you work like that, and it's less productive. So
100%. And stress too. We've done it in our business. Like, we'll turn that around in 3 days, and then you realise how busy you are. You turn it around later. The person's dialing in 3 days, I know you guys might have different time frames, but the stress involved in trying to deliver, and then you don't do it anymore. So
you gotta learn, do that, make them sort of mistakes, It's the only way you learn.
Yeah.
And then the late night.
Why are we the mistake learners? I feel like we're all mistake learners. I'm the same.
Just keep making it, mate. Don't never learn.
You have to fail, though. It's part of the game. If you're not failing, you're not having a crack, I don't reckon.
That's
100%. Fail forward, they say.
Where's the worst you can end up, you know?
Well, that's how I think of a lot of things. First time is you leave on a new job, you know, I think.
Like everyone else.
And what's the worst that's going to happen, you know? I make it hopefully a small mistake, or I don't make as much money as I wanted, but like I went in there, had a crack, you know, on a job that was bigger, you know, taking bigger jobs on. You go, the worst thing that's going to happen is I'm going to take a little bit longer to do the job and make a little bit less money, but I still got the job and I did a good job, you know? You just got to learn from that stuff.
That's right. Yeah, take the good out of it. Even if you lost money, like you did a good job, your reputation got a bit better. You learnt where you're underpriced or could have done better or allowed more labour. Like,
yeah.
Are you passing on some of the? Sorry.
You go. Yeah,
you passing on some of the wisdom to the young fellas you're working for you. You know, like show up even if you're hungover, and I'll keep you. You can keep your job.
We let them know, mate. But you know, I've got no hair now. I wear glasses. They probably just think, "Oh, he's this bloke, guys." Years ago, mate, we used to do it, get on the piss and we'd have to come to work. And if I look at me going, he's this poor-headed fucking goose.
Sure you did, Grandpa, you know.
Yeah, that's it, you know. But, mate, they're good. The young fella, I can't knock him. He comes to work every day, you know. He's only had a couple of days, you know, if anything.
Yeah, as long as you're passing on the wisdom, you know. That's how these kids learn.
You got to.
Turn into Tyler like you.
Well, that's the thing we might get taught by a good boss. Like, it benefits me as well, trying to teach him as much as I can. And like the ideal thing, what my boss used to say, like he's done his job right if I'm as good as him, if not better, you know. Obviously the better comes with time and experience, you know, after he finishes his apprenticeship, but just trying to give him all that is just, you know, you want to see him do well. Like I don't want him to finish his trade as a fourth year and he's still fucking useless or anything, you know, or doesn't only got half an idea. You want to try and give him the knowledge that like he's pretty much got a full idea and it's just getting more experience on site, you know. I think that's the aim for any boss, or any half-decent boss should be trying to do that, mate, you know.
What about keeping people on once they finish as well, you know? So you moved on after you finished up, which obviously the timing, like you said, was perfect. Your boss was opening a tile shop and everything else. How do you keep good people on at the end of the day? Because I asked myself that question as well.
I think it's a hard thing, mate, with the game. I think it's different for different trades who have to outlay more tools like chippies. I think it's harder for them to get their builder's license. I'm not going to know the ins and outs, but getting like the warranties and stuff. So chippies will still stay with builders with the tiling game. You could just go out with $3,000 worth of tools and just work out of a hatchback car, you know. It'd be suck working out of the car, but you could go out and just do that, you know. I think it just comes down to the person's initiative on, you know, does he think he's got it to go out on his own, you know. I'd still offer him good money or workers, but it just comes down to what they want. You know, after 4 years, you know, as I said with my boss, I know he opened the tile shop. Maybe might have stayed a year, probably not 6 months, but it just depends on your initiative. You know, if he wants to stay on, I'd offer him a good wage, keep him on. If he's got that drive, that go, you know, he wants to run his own thing as well. You can just tile one bathroom a week and really, depending on the bathroom, you might only be working 3 days out of 5 days out of the week and earn a couple of grand. You know, like your screed and your floor day are 2 half days. So then you're just getting more of that lifestyle. So it just depends what they want, really.
It's a good question too, because like if I ask myself, you know, would I ever go out on my own again and do it? Like I was always doing it once I found out about it, and I'd probably say all of us here feel the same. So once the decision's made, can you really hold on to someone forever?
If they want to go, you could still offer them. It depends. You could be offering them top dollar, you know, like, and you're not making a lot off them. But then I'd probably still say, yeah, they might do it for a certain period, but they're going to end up going anyway, you know. But what you are offering them is security, good pay every week, you know, the work where they're going to go chase it. I think it's just a hard one, mate. It just depends.
And not
on
the extra
person.
work.
Yeah, that's it.
Like
Not
if you don't want to do the quote and the sales, the whatever else is involved, the paperwork, like you say.
Pay your taxes.
That's it, yeah.
Can't teach them that.
But I think it's just a big thing. It just comes down to what type of person is. Some people don't really want the stress. Some people are happy just coming in every week for the wage, and you still got to offer them a good wage to keep them. I think it comes down as well. If you're a good bloke, a good boss, you treat them with respect, going to be more likely to stay around. But if you're just flogging like you're whipping a dead horse, they're going to get jacked doing that, Yeah.
He hangs around long enough, and then you retire, mate. He'll pick up your builders anyway.
Well, that's the thing, but hopefully I'm not. Well, I'll not retire early, but I'm probably not doing that for 30 years, 20 years.
What's the goal? What's the goal long term? You just you think you'll scale it a little bit where you can have a crew out there and you're flicking out a few quotes or
look,
whatever?
I wouldn't be worried or scared about having a few guys. There's 4 of us now. You just got to have the work, cash flow. But I wouldn't be worried if I had the work, cash flow. It's just sort of. Yeah, you definitely grow the business, 8, 10 guys or whatever, but it's just a bit harder to do that as well. I'd be happy to do it. I definitely wouldn't shy away from doing it, but you got to be pumping work. And then if you're doing that, you're probably doing a 70% commercial, you're at least 60% commercial, and then you're 40% on big residential, like whole houses. You can't just be doing fucking 1 bathroom at one job, otherwise you'd have to have 8 bathrooms, 8 jobs going a week, so you need just big jobs, commercial jobs to keep you going. And the hard thing is as well, that's going the commercial game, that's cutthroat again, just with pricing. There's the prices that are...
It's more about the cheapest price then, I reckon, yeah. It doesn't matter if you're with the same builder too, job to job, it's a different team.
Yeah.
So they're just trying to do their targets the best they can. Yeah.
That's it. And look at their margins. And with commercial, I don't know how long their warranties are, but they might not have to warrant the job as long as a resi, and you get away with shit of quality, look at pubs, Thailand, pubs and clubs or shopping centres, car yards and that, they're just fucking big meters. They're money makers, but the quality isn't as, it's not as good. You can go take a piss at a urinal in a pub, and a lot of people, unless you're tiles or builders, you don't really look at the tiles, but I go and look at them and go, oh, fuck, what's going on here? They're shocking, So, yeah, it just makes it a bit harder. The bigger the crew, getting commercial, more cutthroat. So it'd be good to do, but it's just hard to do that because you get to a point where you're coming down so much on price. How much money are you actually making? Is it worth the stress or the hassle as well?
Yeah. You float the eight guys or if you had 8 guys under you as well or 8 jobs going, if it dries up, that's when you're stressing, especially if they're employees too, right? Because that's when they're standing around cleaning the workshop or not making money. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's different for me to you. I don't supply tiles. It's just easier instead of going back and forth with clients or, as I said, architects, interior designers. So with you, Liam, at least you get your margin on supplying all the fencing, just like roofers. They'll end up getting all the roofing stuff and they're making sort of decent margins on that too, where I'm just really, my price is my price and your materials included, your glue, grouts and, sand, cement, where I'm not supplying, let's say, 1,000 square metres of tiles, they can fucking $10 a square metre off the tiles, where other companies would be doing that stuff.
It's included in your hourly rate, or no? It's like a square metre rate, or how do you?
Yeah, square metre rate.
Yeah.
So you just sort of allow for us. It's about $15 a square metre. It's just your material.
Don't tell your competitors, mate, where they can't be to beat you.
Mate, all tilers should know that anyway.
Yeah. Is each job different though? Like I saw a thing, it was like, because I used to quote like that, it was like $20 or $100 a lineal metre for us, not square metre, a lineal metre for this type of fence. And then for a high security one, it's, anywhere between 600 and 800, but really each job's different, right? You should be quoting it job to job. But then again, tiles, it's always a house, it's a frame, it's waterproof. It doesn't change too much, I guess, does it?
They're all pretty. The prices just change on your tile selection. Your standard tiles that a lot of people do are your 300 by 300s, 600 by 600 like you've got in your bathroom, 6 by 3s. And then when you start going into sort of, feature tiles, mosaics and herringbone pattern subway tiles, all that stuff is just obviously a more expensive price. So it just depends, same with stone. Stone's more expensive, So it pretty much just depends job to job. Tiles they got is what the price is.
Yeah.
It's good to learn about the ins and outs of this. On like you guys obviously know half the language. For us blokes, we do as well because who we talk to. But I don't know. You mentioned something before that I've been hearing a bit of lately. We got some aircon guys down in Victoria. And there's a VEU rebate down there at the moment where the government's giving money back for aircon and other things. He's complaining all the time about pop-up companies that are undercutting people. I just thought of it when you were talking about, getting undercut and commercial. And these companies apparently, it's like, all right, the rebate's on, let's go. 1 year we start doing that. Obviously, quality of work must be horrendous, but they undercut everyone, get good rebates from the government and everything else, and then, what's the next rebate that we're going on? And I even this morning saw a funny meme about the NDIS and stuff like that, which we all know about, good and bad. Have you seen these pop-up companies, any of you guys?
Yeah, they do them. Not as much like now. I'm not into all like the solar companies that were doing all the big rebates on that, and then obviously people jumping on the solar. But the big one I remember, I think I was about 17. It's might have been 18 or 19 when they first brought in the insulation in the roof ceilings in all the houses. Because
I remember that Kevin Rudd.
Yeah, so that was a
Kevin
big
Rudd? Yeah.
but that was a big money making thing. People were starting up companies, just getting ABN and then just doing that, making just shitloads of money, and they weren't doing the job right. But I even know heaps of chippies and builders that they already knew how to do that stuff, so they jumped on board as well, and people were making big money off that at that time. But yeah, the same thing, pop-up companies come in who didn't know what they were doing and doing a shit job, That's probably the last one.
Yeah. I don't know why I remember this, just random stuff that sits in my head, but Kevin Rudd, Kevin07, he was crying on TV. I think there was 2 deaths related to the insulation, and he was crying and apologising.
I think there was 2 young kids.
Anyway,
I think one was 16 or 17. He was in the roof, and I think it was like 50, might have been low 50s in the roof, and he died on the roof. I think he was about 17. I still remember Kevin. I think it was a Kevin07 who gave everyone on Centrelink $1,000. I wasn't on Centrelink. I could never get it. I remember a few of my mates and that, were rolling at getting $1,000 for nothing. Good old Kevin, I think it was.
Not too bad. It's an easy way to get popular, eh? Come in, who wants money?
Yeah, put us all back in the debt and pay it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's going to pay for it? Thank you. Pay your ass. We're increasing it. GST's 15%. Anyway. Well, to pivot to your golf game, Simo, best hole you've ever had. Golf game.
Mate, let us know about golf after you answer that one, yeah?
The golfing game's not that good, I got me business fucking late on the list.
Yeah, back in you, Mel.
Oh, we won over you, boys.
There you go.
Best hole you've ever had. Let us know about your golf game.
I don't know.
I'm still here.
I don't know, mate. That eagle we got it. That eagle I got at Mangrove Mountain was pretty good. I've had a couple of good ones.
That was pretty good. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Eagle.
Yeah, no, I remember we were out there not even that long ago.
It was Fort Chrissy, I think.
Yeah, that was unreal. Yeah. Like we're talking what?
You still a member?
3-4 months ago.
You guys still a member? Well, obviously not you, Kirk, but you still play Simo? You remember at that?
Not really. I think I played 5 times last year, 6 maybe.
got kids, boys.
Yeah, it's hard. If you like, I work 6 days a lot too. So like to pay like the membership for a fucking golf membership, work 6 days, and then you play golf on Sunday. You're never home, you know. Just hard. Everyone who knows golfing sort of goes out the window with young kids. You know, it'll come back someday.
Yeah. At least we know how to play now. I sort of always think that. I don't know,
Well, that's the good
retirement
thing.
days.
At least we got a couple of years in. I reckon, like when the eldest starts school, we'll be able to start getting back into it a little bit. You know,
It's always good to know how to go out there and get around anyway.
Yeah.
Liam, how your work-life balance at the moment?
Been all right.
Non-existent.
It feels like it was
Oh, it's
New
been
Year.
all right.
No, it doesn't mean it's been all right last couple of weeks. I've been back at the gym last couple of weeks, but it's easy to let go. Yeah, I got to remind myself to finish at 5 or 6 o'clock, to be honest. But I got no one. Someone said it to me the other day. They're like, you got no one. Jared actually said it to me, our stepbrother. I said, I'm at the office till 8. And he said, you got no one nagging you. Well, not nagging you, but, wanting you to be home. Wanting your attention. Stitch up there. Not nagging you, just wanting you to be home.
It's probably hard too.
So
though.
like when you're single and you're sort of driving the business, you can sort of do whatever you want. But I enjoy working. Work's good, but yeah, I'm not doing the Hyrox. You guys got the Hyrox coming up next?
Fly to Bangkok tomorrow. Yeah.
You're going to Bangkok for it?
Yes. Yeah. We I think
When we booked that months ago.
You'll have to let us know
yeah.
the best hole when you get back.
Stay in a week. Hyrox is the
Episode 6, mate.
That's it.
We're talking about ping pong. Ping pong, no golf, mate.
Hey,
How long are you going for?
1 week actually, which the potty we can do it over there, I guess. Take
Yeah,
the
for
microphone over, Sammy. No.
Is it just a one
Just
day,
high
the
last year, yeah, I'm
Hyrox?
sure that'd be one.
Yeah, it's Sunday. And then we're staying a week after that. So still got to work over there, unfortunately. But last time I was in Bangkok, it was all right, but I didn't love it. But we got a mate who lives over there now. And I think if you know where to go, good restaurants, good nightlife, good city. So hopefully we get the right advice.
What's that on Bangor Road?
I've never been, so that's fucking.
You been to Thailand before, Simon?
Nah, I haven't really been anywhere. I went to Europe.
You travelled? You did Europe.
You went to Europe a bit,
didn't you?
Yeah,
That was a
we
good
were
trip
there
with
yeah, me, Tom, brother and sister went, then me and Tom went off for a couple of weeks on our own. But it's good seeing the Irish family and that over there too. That was good.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't really done much travel. I went to Bali, Fiji, sort of the younger years without the parents and that. But no, I've done no traveling really. Travelled a lot of Australia.
You were frothing when you came back. I remember you coming back from Europe.
That was a sick trip. It looked like a fucking good trip, like for both of you guys.
It's good.
I reckon, it's eye-opening. Get stuck in a bit of a rut, eh? Like, travelling's good.
Yeah.
No,
Mel did. My partner did heaps of travelling. She wants to do some more, so.
You might have to propose, mate. We could organise a good bloody bucks party or, overseas and hangover part 4.
Bali.
Yeah.
Bali. Yeah, well, that'll be happening this year sometime, Surprise her. She's still listening. The pressure was already on.
How long you guys been together?
Since I was 30, 6 years.
You're not 36, eh? Oh, you are.
Almost,
mate.
Got there.
Almost, yeah.
Not far off it.
Almost.
I can push it 40 now. Scary.
You and me both, mate. Sam tells me about it all the time.
Oh, I don't feel that old.
Ah, that's it. Me neither.
Come on, you're not even 36 yet. You're not pushing 40, man.
It's knocking on my door. 5 years goes quick, Bella.
Yeah, true.
So like Bronny's 4 this year. That's all. Fuck, where's it go?
That's crazy. Yeah.
I feel like
and Ella, how old is she now?
Goes quick. She's 2 this year.
Yeah,
so
crazy.
That's when I feel like
you sorted her anyway,
time
mate.
Goes. Sorry?
You sorted already. You got the house, the family.
Yeah, it's good. No complaints.
You're more important than the three of us, mate. You got something.
You know what? You are doing
something to live for.
You got the family. You got the business.
We're doing better than I was years ago, mate. It's good.
Yeah, I could disappear. The only person would know would Kirk. He'd be like, Sam hasn't showed up to work. And what's he do?
I reckon it'd take 72 hours to realise I was missing.
And then they still wouldn't be worried. Just another week.
They'd just go, oh, he must be back in Bali again or something.
Yeah, they were like, oh, yeah, paycheck went through, actually. We're all good.
Yeah, true. The closest payday, they'd be like, well, once we get an admin or accounts, and then that'd be
As soon as someone check bounce, then they'll be like, where is he?
I haven't been around for the week to bloody move money left, right and centre. Yeah.
Simo, mate, it's been a pleasure, though.
Yeah, no, appreciate it, boys. Thank you.